Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's the 14th of June. Euro 2024 kicks off tonight. Germany against Scotland. Scott McTominay, he's definitely scoring a header. Anyway, the transfer window has opened today. The Euros start today. And Manchester United's summer, it's kicked into gear. Jarrad Branthwaite, Manchester United have agreed personal terms. We're also going to speak about Man United's pursuit of Leny. I'm going to do that sometimes. Leny Yoro, Leny Yoro. Well, anyway, we'll speak about our pursuit of Leny Yoro confirmed by David Ornstein. I don't think we'll sign him, but we're looking at him. We're going to speak about Joshua Zirkzee. We're going to speak about Michael Olise. We're going to speak about Matthijs de Ligt. We're going to speak about Mason Greenwood and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The summer started, all right? We all felt that maybe it had been bottlenecked by the Ten Hag decision. And absolutely, that's what's happened. I'm going to run through all the transfer news. I've updated all the transfer whiteboards. The whiteboard is coming out today. I'm coming out. Up, not out. Well, maybe not. Don't know. I'll enjoy the show. I think so anyway. You will. It's going to be a busy morning. It's going to be a busy show. And there's a lot of conversations I think that lots of you have wanted to have. We've been wanting to speak about signings for next summer and debates and disagreeing on whether this person's the right signing and how much you should pay for him. That's better. That's more enjoyable than arguing about whether the manager should go or stay. That's done. We'll move on. Who's here from the member gang, the mod gang, and then I'll run through some news and we'll dive straight into this one. He's going to be a busy one. Carl, good morning to you, dude. And I saw you there as well. Manoil. And I see the Manoil. Josh, as always, you're down there. Alex, I'm sure you're here lurking in the background as well, somewhere. From the member gang, let's have a look. KG, John Hammond, Everton, Muhaddin. We've got Faisal. We've got Teresa, Stephanie, Russell, Matt, Ashik. Lots of you joining in. The Euro 2024 sweepstake happened yesterday. Mekajin got Georgia. Maddie got Portugal. I think Carl got Italy. Can't remember. Anyway, kicks off tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Oh, man, look at that. To kick off a Friday show, it's going to be a nice Friday vibe in here today. I can feel it. Jonathan, thank you for gifting 10 memberships down there, man. Let's see if this button works. Who's this? Is it Roy? I think this one's Roy Keane. Is it Roy?
You know, he's annoying me. You know, the lads who do the massages.
I know what you're saying.
We're having a night out, free bar. They're bringing, then they're coming with all their mates. You're like, you're bringing your mates. You're like, relax.
Relax. And also from Facebook, good morning to John Lane and Bella, Johnny Hager, Kyle, Thomas, and Arthur. Good morning to all of you. I'm looking forward to today's show. A couple of bits of news I want to speak about around United, not just around United, but around football. Isn't this a bit of a weird one? What is it, 6 months ago? Thereabouts. 6 months ago, De Zerbi was probably top of the list for a lot of people speaking about who's going to replace Pep Guardiola when he leaves City. And then Brighton had like the second half of the season that was just from hell. Relegation form. All the stock sort of went away. Liverpool have appointed a manager. De Zerbi was never really involved. Bayern Munich were appointed a manager. I don't think he was ever involved. Barcelona have appointed a manager, wasn't involved. And now he's gone to Marseille. De Zerbi is going to Marseille. There's people suggesting that, he rejected Manchester United because of, I don't know what it was. What, in the same way that Thomas Tuchel rejected Manchester United? Yeah, all right, mate. Anyway, it's just a bit of a weird one. Bit of a weird one, really. Anyway. Come on, Scott. I love international tournaments. I really do. I hate international football for the majority of the time that it's on. But when an international tournament comes around, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's the Euros, it's so much fun. And it's an opportunity for me to watch football that I have a real interest in without having to work. And it's quite nice. And I'm looking forward to watching that. It's a really good opening game tonight. Germany against Scotland. I've got 20 quid on McTominay to score anytime. Come on, Scott. I think it'll be a good one. I think he'll score today. Well, he basically got them there. I think it's the first time since France 98 that Scotland have been at an international tournament abroad. That's a big one for them. And they're just going to enjoy it. Can't remember who else is in their group. Hate it's when Klein, that's a fair point there. Hate it when it's in the middle of the season. That stupid Winter World Cup. So how can you possibly take enjoyment out of a World Cup? I know. Let's do it in the winter instead. International tournaments should be about barbecues, beers, sunshine, watching an insane amount of football for 2 weeks, and then complaining as soon as you don't have 3 games a day to watch. So enjoy the feast of football because it starts from tomorrow. Games, I think, in England at 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, time-wise. So, yeah. Come on. I don't think England will win, by the way. But I'm just going to enjoy it. And England, never know. England might surprise me. Hope Scotland wins the game, says Sam, man. I hope they do as well. I just hope Scott McTominay scores. I don't really care if they win the game. Now, look. Yesterday, I did this video, right? And this video, I put it down and I said at the start of the video, I said, this is going to be the opportunity for us to take a look back at everything that happened throughout this entire process. There was, as I said in the video yesterday, there's a fantastic article from The Athletic with a lot of information in it. And I ran through it all in terms of how the process unfolded. And I said, you know what? I don't think we need to speak about it anymore past this point. To the nth degree. And I said, from tomorrow, we can start looking forward. And from tomorrow, we can start talking about what happens next. We can start talking about the summer. We can start talking about next season. And that's exactly what we're doing. Because today, by the way, the transfer window officially opens. Friday, the 14th of June. Now, I'm pretty sure that, well, I'm not pretty sure. Clubs can agree deals, right? Clubs can agree everything before the transfer window opens. But what they can't do is register the player to play for their club. But it's just symbolic. Today is the day where the transfer window opens, and today is the day where we're really going to be talking about recruitment. And before I do that, there's a very important little snippet in this article from Laurie Whitwell, which is a massive overview of last season, all the problems that happened last season, all the conversations. And I'm going to read that in a bit more detail a little bit later on because there's way too much for me to read and digest before the live show. However, there's one particular key point. And the reason I've got a photo there of Ten Hag and a photo of Ratcliffe. Ineos have chosen Erik Ten Hag as their man, right? However, he's not going to be the manager that he was last season. His role is going to be very different. And when it comes to recruitment, unfortunately, Erik Ten Hag has been too involved and Manchester United have missed way too much. So that's why this snippet here is a very important bit of information to take. Ten Hag's influence on United's transfer business is clear, and Ineos want to reduce his role and aim to appoint a head of recruitment. So Laurie Whitwell there, and this might sort of go under the radar because it's kind of like buried inside the article. But we've spoken about this. We spoke about Dougie Freedman before. I don't think he's going to come into that role. We spoke about Paul Mitchell before. I don't think he's going to come into that role either. But we didn't know whether Manchester United were actually going to appoint a head of recruitment directly or whether it's going to be left to Jason Wilcox, Dan Ashworth and Omar Barada. But Laurie Whitwell reporting there that Man United still intend to appoint a head of recruitment. Dudley is a good question. They're saying when do we appoint a head of recruitment? And I suppose you would think, well, if Manchester United are always intending to appoint a head of recruitment, then why wasn't that one of the, I suppose, the first things they did this summer? And I think that's kind of a fair question. But Manchester United, I think what we're looking at right now is Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada when he comes. By the way, I just see someone talking down there about Omar Barada starting on Monday. Omar Barada, I believe, starts on the 13th of July. We've still got a month without him in. Right? Yeah, I didn't know whether it was going to be Ashworth leading. Ashworth, I don't think was ever going to lead on as the head of recruitment. Ashworth is the way he described himself, the man in the middle of the wheel, making sure that everybody has exactly what they need. He's the overseer. And he can't do that and also be head of recruitment. Could it have been Jason Wilcox? Well, he's a technical director. He's more, I suppose, the football version of Dave Brailsford. I think Jason Wilcox is going to be the processes man, the operations man on the football side of things. That's kind of the way I look at Jason Wilcox. And then you've got Omar Barada, who's the CEO, who's overseeing all of this and linking it back to the business side of things. So when you say all of that, you go, well, yeah, I can understand exactly why there would still be a need for a head of recruitment, but it looks like a head of recruitment is going to be coming. As of when, I have no idea. Who? I have absolutely no idea. But it looks like the final structure could well be CEO, sporting director, head of recruitment, and technical director, all working above Erik ten Hag as the head coach. Now, that's a completely brand new structure. I think we need that. And recruitment-wise, let's go on to it. 1 second here, and then we'll move into the main part of today's show because it's going to be a busy one. We're going to start by talking about Jarrad Branthwaite, and then we're talking about Yoro, and then De Ligt, Olise, and Zirkzee. But the main news, of course, is Jarrad Branthwaite. And I know that this is not a transfer that every United fan agrees on. And I'll be honest, I think the only thing that the disagreement comes with is the price, right? I'm going to run through this article here from Martin Ziegler. Also, Paul Joyce's name was written next to that article yesterday. But Paul Joyce's name isn't there anymore, which is a little bit strange. Paul Joyce is like, he's basically the Merseyside version of David Ornstein. Anything that happens with Liverpool and Everton, Paul Joyce knows. And he's right up there with the very, very top. But Branthwaite, all right? Let me run through the article, and then I'm going to put a poll question down here about how much you think Branthwaite is worth, all right? So Manchester United, according to Martin Ziegler, have agreed terms. I think the Telegraph have corroborated that as well. Agreed personal terms with Branthwaite, and now it's about the bid, all right? Man United's ambitions of signing Branthwaite, blah, 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 blah. United have yet to agree a transfer fee with Everton, who are believed to be holding out for about 70 million. And we go down there, right? And the agreement would result in Branthwaite being paid between 150 to 160 grand a week. And I've seen some, I mean, angry is the wrong word, right? Angry is a bit extreme. But I've seen some disagreements with how much that is. So I'm going to ask you here in the comments first. What do you think about the idea of paying Branthwaite 150 to 160 grand a week? Anybody who's looking at what he was on at Everton, I don't think you're looking at it correctly, if I'm being completely honest, right? Because it's like comparing apples and pears. There's no point looking at Everton's wage structure and looking at how much he's on and going, well, you can't give him 3, 4, 5 times that to join Manchester United. You have to look at Manchester United's wage structure. Now, before I look at this, I would say this is from Capology. We can't take these as gospel numbers in terms of how much the salaries are at Manchester United, but they're ballparks, right? We know that Casemiro's our highest earner. Varane's already gone. Martial's gone. And Rashford, well, we don't know. He might be going. And we look at 150 grand a week and we say, well, who's around about on 150 grand a week? And we go down to these sorts of numbers. Luke Shaw's on 150. Christian Eriksen's on 150. Martinez down there on 120. I think 150 grand for me feels pretty par for the course for a player who's considered starter quality in the Premier League at a club like Manchester United. I think in the reflection of the wage structure, the fact that you're putting him on more than Lisandro Martinez, look, this comes with English tax. This comes with Premier League tax. Mainly Premier League tax. Lisandro Martinez was signed from Ajax. So him getting 120 grand a week was a load of money to him. Whereas in reality, if we signed Lisandro Martinez from someone in the Premier League, there's no way that we would have got him on 120 grand a week. Lots of people down there saying, look, let's not talk about new contracts for anybody who doesn't need a new contract right now. I think 150 grand a week is pretty par for the course for a player considered starter quality at a Premier League club the size of Manchester United. Just my opinion, right? Just my opinion. 70 million, however, though. If I had a pair of glasses, I'd do a bit of that. Look, you know, when teachers look over your glasses, like you've done something wrong. I need you to tell me how much you think a fair deal for Branthwaite is. Branthwaite price, right? Let me see what the options would be down here. I'll probably go 30 to 40. Fat chance. 40 to 50. 50 to 60. Or 60 to 70, right? That's what I'm going to put down there as the 4 poll options. Because, let's pull this bad boy up. Can I just... so one more time. So one more time. I'm just happy the software's all working. I've been looking forward to using all of this. My word, I've been looking forward to using it. Now, we had that down there. We got the approximate price of 75 million, which might be a bit much. But realistically, if we take a look at how much they want for him, around about 70 mil. I mean, fat chance, right? Fat chance they're going to get 70 mil. That's what they want, no doubt. And I think I've said this before, but if there's going to be one player that Everton, I think, try and hold on to, I imagine it would probably be Jarrad Branthwaite. I think if they kept him, his value would only go up this year, right? And I don't think they need to sell everybody, but it's that PSR deadline, remember, coming up on the 30th of June, which gives United a bit of an opportunity here. Let me pull this up here. Right, let's leave that there. I'm going to go down and read some of your comments. 50 mil max, says Danny. 45 mil plus add-on, says Brian. 40 to 50 with bonus-related success. Stones was 50 mil all those years ago. And Glenn, I'm really glad that you've mentioned that as a comment there. Because I'm very much looking at Jarrad Branthwaite as I looked at John Stones before he joined City. When City signed John Stones, I looked at that and went, I mean, he's all right. But is he? Is he really worth that? I really think Jarrad Branthwaite falls into it. I'm very glad that you mentioned John Stones, because I think that's exactly what it is. Jarrad Branthwaite at 21, he's got so many years of probably 2 to 3 years development, really, away from probably a little bit more. I have no idea. I think I've said this to you before. I have no idea when the peaks of players are anymore, because players get better younger. But I definitely am looking at Branthwaite in the same sort of way I looked at Stones. Serenity, you're saying no way that Branthwaite's as good as Stones at that age. And maybe he wasn't. But I'm talking about in terms of development. Stones became a significantly better player at City than he was at Everton. I think Jarrad Branthwaite will become a significantly better player when he continues to develop over the next few years. And something to think about, right, with Jarrad Branthwaite. I was speaking with Steve about this before. Steve, who helps with research. Big up, Steve. Man United won't be able to make a better signing than Jarrad Branthwaite when it comes to giving you options in your defence, right? Jarrad Branthwaite played... by the way, we're going to have a little transfer profile coming out on Jarrad Branthwaite on around about Tuesday. A ton more info in there about his game, stats last season, strengths and weaknesses. But Jarrad Branthwaite, he played left centre-back for Everton last season. He played right centre-back for PSV, 10 out of 28 games on the season where he was there on loan. And he can also play wide on his own. He can play right centre-back. He can play left centre-back. He can play left-back as well. And given that Manchester United's big problem last season was injuries, I honestly don't think you're going to find somebody who's... I mean, it's expensive for it. It's not a utility player, right? That's not the way I'm describing him. But he would be comfortable playing left centre-back. He'd be comfortable playing right centre-back. And if you needed him to, he would be comfortable playing left-back. This summer is where Manchester United need to get rid of players that don't serve a purpose anymore. That might be a really harsh thing to say, right? But Victor Lindelof. We should be selling Victor Lindelof. There is absolutely no need for Victor Lindelof to be a Manchester United player next season. None whatsoever. We should be selling him for 5 to 10 million. And taking that 5 to 10 million off the price of Jarrad Branthwaite. Look at that. He brought us. The buttons are working. If I had some sort of celebration noise, I'd do it. Anyway. That's what it should be. And of course, we've already sold. I say sold. Varane's already left. And in terms of wages, we've already saved an absolute ton on wages, right? Varane's up there north of 300. So it's basically 1/3 of Varane's wages for Branthwaite. And this is what I mean about putting into context. Oh, 150 is way too much for Branthwaite. That's not what he was on in Everton. Signing a player who's on 1/3 of the wages that that Raphael Varane was, and then at the same time selling Victor Lindelof, it makes sense. I'm talking about squad building here. This feels like squad building. And that's probably what I would call the Jarrad Branthwaite signing. I think it would be a very, very good squad signing. And also probably a top-tier starting player. But let's be honest, if Jarrad Branthwaite was signed, he's not going to be starting for Manchester United left centre-back. Lisandro Martinez is. So that, I think, is the fair question to ask. Given that Manchester United's big priority this summer is to sign a right-sided centre-back, is it wise to go out and spend 50 million on somebody who just spent a season playing at left centre-back in the Premier League? No, I don't think it is. The way I look at this Branthwaite signing, I know that he can play on the right-hand side. I've already just explained all of that. But I look at Branthwaite as Varane's left. Lindelof should be leaving. And there is a chance that we sell Maguire as well. And then we sign someone like Branthwaite. We sign someone like Todibo. That's 2 top-level centre-back signings. And we've already got Lisandro Martinez and, well, Woody Cambuala. So you probably need one more. I don't think maybe Maguire won't leave. Nick, I'm going to go down and read some of your comments here. It's an interesting debate, this one. Nick saying, that's my biggest concern. This feels Sancho-esque. Signing players for positions we already have options in. I get the squad options and versatility. I mean, it's not a Sancho signing. I think that would be unfair. Remember when we thought we signed Sancho and we completed our right wing finally? That didn't work. Jarrad Branthwaite would be put... I'm just thinking hypothetically here. Manchester United... No, he would be a good signing, right? I think the only fair concerns that everybody does have is the price tag. Honest opinion, I don't think Manchester United could or should be going above 50 million for any player this summer, which probably rules us out of Yoro, which I'll speak about next. But 50 mil is where I would put it at. So let me see what you're saying down here in the comments, right? 1,000 votes and... Everyone's waking up the summer. I love the summer can be crazy. And it will be. By the end of it, I'm going to be exhausted. But I get a buzz going into it because it's good fun. And I put so much work into making this look and feel like the most professional and slick transfer show you'll get on United anywhere. So I hope that comes across. And if it does, please drop a like on it. But looking at the votes, we've got 1,100 votes in and 53% of you are saying in the 40 to 50 million pound mark. 31% of you are saying 50 to 60. And 3% are saying 60 to 70. Akash, you're disagreeing with me there. You're saying Branthwaite's jump on his wages is madness because we need to maintain his motivation and incentive to develop. No way does he get more than Martinez. He's a good signing, not for 70 million. I think you're looking at... If this was 30 grand lower, would everybody be like, fine, that's fine with the wages? 120 grand. Because that would be parity roughly with what Martinez is on. I think that 30 grand you're looking at is Premier League tax. Is Premier League expectations from the agents and all those involved. I think around about 50 million is what I would expect Manchester United to go in with on the bid. And the reason this is good is because it's the 14th of June. We've got 16 days now until the PSR deadline. 16 days until Everton have to submit their accounts for the year. And we're going to go in with a massive offer for, by the looks of things, a big offer for Branthwaite. And they have to make a decision. And you're not happy with Branthwaite. 80 grand, says Youngin, just like Haaland. Where would 80 grand be on this one here? People, you really cannot compare signing a 21-year-old Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta in Serie A and the wage expectations that would come with that to signing 21-year-old English centre-back Jarrad Branthwaite from Everton, who's already played in the Premier League. The expectations are different. The agents and the conversations would be different. And it just wouldn't happen. Kat, you're saying he didn't make the final cut for the Euros. Because Gareth Southgate's an absolute whopper. Not because he didn't deserve it. Guarantee you, Manchester United had injury problems last season. But just watch England at the Euros with no centre-backs. Ridiculous. That's a very good point there from Halftime Oranges. Everyone complaining about 150 grand for Branthwaite when Tosin just got 140 grand from Chelsea. And also, when you think about that dude, right? That was actually sold as a reason why we didn't sign Tosin. Him wanting 140 grand a week. And if we're willing to pay Branthwaite 150 grand a week, it would indicate that we look at Branthwaite in a different way to how we look at Tosin in terms of the position of the squad. It's going to be an interesting one. These are more the debates I want to have, man. Who would be a good signing, who would be a bad signing. But yeah, judging from the poll down there, 1,400 votes, and 53% of you think that around about 40 to 50 million would probably be the bid that Manchester United go in with, and I think that's probably correct. Now, next player that we need to speak about, because it's coming into transfer season now, and this is Leny Yoro. Now, David Ornstein's confirmed yesterday that Manchester United are actively pursuing a deal for Yoro. Now, to sort of temper expectations, to say this at the very start of having a conversation with him, I don't expect Manchester United to sign him this summer. But if I go over here to the whiteboard, updated, we're up to 73 names, by the way. Anybody else who spots links, please put them in the transfer whiteboard channel on Discord, and I'll add them on here. You can see I've updated some colours. We've got Branthwaite, Yoro, and Todibo all in the green now. We've got Onana and Fofana in the greens on the midfielders, and down in the strikers we've got Olise, Guirassy, and we've got Zirkzee. But we're here to talk about Leny Yoro first, right? I'm going to run through what David Ornstein said in the article, right? Liverpool and Manchester United are actively pursuing a deal to sign him, albeit with an acceptance that Real Madrid may ultimately win the contest, and this is the important part here. That has not discouraged any sides, including United and Liverpool, pushing hard to entice him, especially given the rarity of such a fine talent being available for a transfer. Now, his deal runs out in 2025, so this is the only summer that Lille have to make money by selling Yoro. Otherwise, they're going to lose him on a free transfer, hence why they're selling him. Right? That's the first thing to remember. PSG are known to have made more concrete advances so far and would all be prepared to offer competitive or favourable conditions, yet there remains an anticipation that Madrid will step forward, perhaps later in the process, and nobody's going to sign him. And that's pretty much what the situation feels like with Leny Yoro. If you're looking at sort of replacement, Varane leaving, and then the player that people are considering the sort of regen of Varane, or this generation's edition of Varane, that's some sort of upgrade. That's out with the old, in with the new sort of thing. Very much strikes me that United absolutely, by the way, should be looking at Leny Yoro. And I think that's one thing I would definitely say, right? Whether you agree or not with Man United pursuing Jarrad Branthwaite, whether you agree or not with Man United pursuing Leny Yoro, or De Ligt, who I will speak about in a minute, or Todibo, Man United are looking at multiple options and making sure that we're not going to get left short-handed. Complete opposite to how we operated when we tried to sign De Jong. We had De Jong and absolutely nobody else until we lost to Brighton and Brentford, and then we panicked and we signed Casemiro, who's absolutely nowhere near the profile of De Jong. But Yoro, I mean, look, he's only 18. And he had a very, very good breakthrough season last season with Lille, and he's years away from his peak, and he's already extremely accomplished. It just depends whether I think it's really around game time, isn't it? Not actually sure who Real Madrid's centre-backs are. Is it Rudiger? I don't know who their centre-backs are. I'll see what you're saying down here in the comments about Leny Yoro. 18-year-old centre-half, no Premier League experience is a problem, says Thomas. I mean, you can pick any angle. That's right. You can find fault in any transfer if you want. And truth be told, there is a risk with every transfer. Whether it's the price you're paying, whether it's the club you're signing them from, whether it's the age they are, whether it's the experience they had. There is no perfect signing. And there never will be. It's about calculated risk. It's about understanding, and it's about putting your chips on the right player and making a prediction. They will be able to handle it, and they end up handling it. They will be able to develop, and they end up developing. That's what good scouts do, right? That's what good scouts do. Militao, Nacho, Alaba, yeah. Would he get game time at Real Madrid? I mean, I imagine he would. And if they want to sign him, then Man United are not going to sign Leny Yoro. Neil, what are you saying, sir? You're saying, are we hopeful that Ineos will finally end the practice of overspending on transfers, or do we just believe they'll spend the money better? Neil, well, I think it will be with Ineos. Whether it's Yoro, whether it's Branthwaite, they'll have a maximum price. And they will legitimately walk away. And that's not what United did before. United had this, what almost felt like false bravado in negotiations. It goes, well, if you don't accept 65 million for Anthony, we're gone. We're looking elsewhere. Rejected. 15 minutes later. Yeah, all right, you can have 70 mil. United were just so weak in negotiations that any sort of bluff just got called. It goes, well, I know that's not your max price. And United always ended up paying. That, I think, is what Ineos will change. There will be a max price, and we will go to it, and we'll probably go to it a lot quicker. I think that's what we'll do. So, like with Branthwaite, right? You could, if you wanted to, enter a set of negotiations that takes 7 weeks. And maybe it will. I can't say that it won't. But they're going to go in nice and low and say, right, okay, we'll work up towards it. Whereas in reality, it might serve United better to go in strong with a big bid and then maybe have one more step above it that you go to. And if both of those are rejected, all right, good luck. See you later. We're moving on. There's plenty of other targets we're looking at. You just decide that you've now rejected a bid worth 50 to 60 mil, and you can sit on that. And then maybe they might come back to United and say, yeah, I'm sorry, United. Can I have your money now? Whereas previously, United have always just got... Anthony's the best example. Going back, this is our max? No. All right. Okay, we found another 5 mil. No. Oh, God. We found another 5 mil. God. Okay, you can have 85 mil. All right? Yeah, we'll take that. I don't think that will happen with Ineos. And Leny Yoro? I don't think Manchester United will sign him. But I've got him as green on the whiteboard because David Ornstein's confirmed that we're actively pursuing him. So that's to explain the whiteboard again. You can see down there the three colour schemes: most credible or possible. Credible is black, and least credible or least possible is red. And that's a little mixture of my opinion and where we find the sources from, the people that I trust. So Leny Yoro's on the green, but I don't think it will happen. All right. And then next on the list, right? Let me just quickly check something here. Did I make one of these? Oh, I did. Come on. Come on, the boys. Right? Next on the list to have a little discussion about is De Ligt. I'm gonna end that poll now. 1,800 votes, and 51% of you think 40 to 50 mil for him, right? Which I think that's fair, and I think that's probably where United will go. And I don't personally think that Everton will accept it. So we'll see what comes on next. But De Ligt. You know what? The first thing I want to say about De Ligt is this. How is this bloke only 24? Mate, he's been around for ages. I swear he was in... Was he not in Ajax's squad when we faced them in the Europa final? I think he is. I don't know whether he started. I don't think he started, but I swear he was in that squad. Anyway, De Ligt, he's 24. is the first thing I want to say. Price, I think we're way off on that one there. 65 mil. By the way, all of these are approximations, right? But that one there, I would definitely disagree with. Can I pull this bad boy out? Let me see if this works. I haven't actually tried this yet. So this might miserably fail. But if I do a bit of this, and I'll go... Ha! Look at that. Leveled up again. I reckon about... 30 mil? 30 mil seems a bit fairer to me. Anyway, there's no way he's going to be 65 mil. But De Ligt, right? Man, I'm so glad this is all coming together. It looks really good. I'm really happy for this. Anyway, Florian Plettenberg from Germany, Sky Sports Germany, has said that Man United are monitoring De Ligt. And this season at Bayern Munich, he was kind of in the squad, then out of the squad, in the squad, then out of the squad. My question to you is, do you want Man United to go after De Ligt? Now, the first thing people are going to say is, hold on here. Why are we going after a former Ajax player? Are we not moving away from players that Ten Hag is familiar with just for the sake of it? It's not right. If that was just the case, I wouldn't have a conversation around De Ligt. My personal opinion, I'm going to just do a poll here. Just a simple one. Yes or no? Right? Yes or no? Right? Done. Going to put that there. Yeah, he is experienced. That's one way of doing it. I mean, how many years did he spend at Juve? I can't remember. Now, something that a lot of people are going to be saying is his injury record, right? That's a big reason why you shouldn't sign him. And we take a look at his injury record here. Last season, missed how many games? 6, 15, missed 18 games. No, 20. Missed 20 games for club and country through a variety of injuries. Calf injury, a knock, inner knee ligament tear, inner ligament injury, presuming that's going to be a reoccurrence of what that is. You go back at Juve in a time there. Groin problems, Corona. Corona. Had a big shoulder injury. That's the biggest injury that he's had so far in his career. I mean, he's had a fair few injury problems. I think that's fair to say. But De Ligt? I think there are better options that Manchester United can look at in the right centre-back market. Would be my personal opinion on De Ligt. Do I think he'd be an awful signing? No. But I think I've said this to you. This summer, there are so many good centre-backs that are going to be on the market. It's about choosing properly. Because Man United can look at pretty much every centre-back, not every centre-back signing, but any centre-back that we've been linked with, right? If we go back to the whiteboard here, and we go, Kilman from Wolves, he'd be a good signing. Gahi from Palace, he'd be a good signing. Tapsoba from Leverkusen would be a good signing. Inacio would be a good signing. Bremer would be a good signing. Diamande would be a good signing. You've got Arejo from Barcelona, but it's not going to happen, would be a good signing. There's loads of them, right? There's loads of them. So it's about identifying exactly who the right ones are for United. And I put 30 million down there, which might be a little bit unfair. But it's certainly not 65 mil. I've got written there. Let me see what your... would love a loan, says JJ. I don't think that would be outside the realms of possibility, really. I wonder if Bayern would agree to that. I mean, his wages would no doubt be big. And his wages would no doubt piss a lot of people off because he's come from Bayern Munich. He's just come from Juventus. So the expectations on wages would be significant. I imagine he would want over 200 grand a week. And then you're saying what? So he's getting 80 grand a week more than Martinez, and you're all going to be equally annoyed about that. No to De Ligt, says Paul, is too slow for the Premier League and an injury concern. Great leader, though. Has the right mentality, but so did Varane. Man, if only we signed Varane when he wasn't injured. Just a personal, but I think Manchester United can sign a better fit for exactly what we need than Matthijs de Ligt. But according to Florian Plettenberg, we're interested in looking at him. So that's who we've spoken about there. Look, if Ed Woodward was still here, I guarantee you this would go further, and Hummels will give it what? I'd be amazed if by Tuesday or Wednesday, Mats Hummels isn't on the linked board, right? I think he's going to be added to this. I can see it happening. But no. So we just had conversations there around Branthwaite, around Yoro, and around De Ligt. Lots going around centre-backs. It's clear, by the way, at this point, the Manchester United are going first and foremost for centre-backs. Second part of the show, I'm going to be speaking about Joshua Zirkzee, going to be speaking about Michael Olise. The map's coming up. I told you it's a busy Friday. I should get some quiz questions prepared for this bit, because only some of you will see an advert and then most of you won't. But anyway, I'll just jump straight into it. And let's talk here about this lad, right? So, Joshua Zirkzee. This is from James Ducker in The Telegraph, right? And this is what he's reporting, all right? Go up here. Manchester United have a strong interest in signing Joshua Zirkzee, but face stiff competition for him. And we go down to read what it says here. We know full well that he's got a £34 million release clause. As it stands, AC Milan are sort of leading the way when it comes to Joshua Zirkzee. Now, in terms of what sort of striker he is, I kind of look at him as like a team striker. He's not like a box striker. You know, like a Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's not going to hang around the box and just be on the end of crosses. He's somebody who really is kind of a link-up striker. Almost like a supporting striker rather than a pure centre-forward. That's what I would probably say about Joshua Zirkzee. And he could really become part of a fluid attack. As it stands, AC Milan are leading the way with Joshua Zirkzee. But at that price, Man United should absolutely be looking at him. And I do think he would be a very good forward signing. I'm going to call him a forward, right? Because I think he could comfortably play as like an inside forward on the left or the right. But ultimately, you want him playing centrally. He can work in between the lines. He can drop a little bit deeper. He can play very well with his back to goal. And he's a very good pressing forward. Good age, good price, good profile. Tick, tick, tick. Right? Would be a smart, in my opinion, would be a smart signing. And we've got a strong interest in him, according to James Ducker. So that's why Zirkzee now is down there in the green. And let's see if this one develops. I actually would be very happy with that signing. 34 million. It's probably more than I expected Manchester United to pay for a forward. But I suppose, well, we're going to have a conversation about Michael Olise next. And what's happening there. Handy's saying we should be looking into the Hoffenheim striker. I think we got him on the board today. Is that Maximilian Bayer? Down there, you can see him. Striker 21. The links right now are a bit weak. Hence why it's down there in the red. At 34 mil and 22, think it'd be a great signing alongside Højlund, says David. And you could see it happen. Like Højlund and Zirkzee. Boy, that's some pressing monsters, those two. Although I kind of want United to drop the aggressive front press relentlessly next season. Or if they do it, at least do it so the fullbacks support it. One of those two things has to happen. But this one's going to be an interesting one. Watch out for that one. If Bayern Munich want him, by the way, Bayern Munich gets him. Because Bayern Munich have got... The buyback clause exists because Bayern Munich put it in his contract, but it applies to every club. However, if Bayern Munich come in, they can just match any offer that anybody wants, and they can sign him. So if they want Joshua Zirkzee, they will get him. And I think that's, at that price, I think it'd be a very good signing. And now we move on. Look at that. We're 45 minutes into the show. We've not really dithered. We've been blasting through it. There's so much to talk about today. And Michael Olise, right? You know, we go back to the whiteboard again. Michael Olise is down there and has been down there as one of the names in green the whole time, right? Michael Olise would clearly be a very good signing. And the only thing I think anybody can say is, oh, his hamstrings last season. Oh. Yeah, I think it's a fair concern. But I don't think it would stop me signing Michael Olise. And it's not stopped. Bayern Munich, Chelsea, and Newcastle all registered their interest in him. And Chelsea have gone a step further, right? So Chelsea have contacted Crystal Palace over Olise. And you know what I find interesting about this article here, by the way? And I'm so confused as to how transfers work these days. I really am. We go down. Chelsea have made contact with Crystal Palace and they asked for permission on Thursday afternoon to speak to the winger's representatives with the hope of agreeing personal terms. Yet, we've just heard that Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Branthwaite, and I don't remember at any point David Ornstein reporting that Man United had asked Everton for permission to speak to him to agree personal terms. So it's like transfers come out at different points into the press. It's not the exact same stage every time it goes out. They don't all follow the same sort of pattern. But with Olise, right, you go down here, as I said, there's more than just those clubs interested. Bayern Munich, Newcastle, yeah, fat chance Newcastle. Chelsea, Manchester United are interested. Unfortunately for Manchester United, signing a right winger is pretty far down our priority list. Signing a centre-back, we've just spoken about Branthwaite, Yoro and De Ligt. And I'd argue a centre-forward ahead of him, hence why I had a conversation around Olise. Sorry, around Zirkzee. And now the right winger, but then you can even speak about left-back. You can speak about central midfielder as well. Olise is going to be 60 mil. And reports suggest, by the way, that the release clause itself is complicated, that it might only be 60 million to a club that's in the Champions League. And if you're not in the Champions League, then the price is different. And I don't really know. I don't think it's as simple as briefcase, 60 mil, big old briefcase, by the way. Slap it on the table and say, there's your release clause. Now we just agree terms with him. I think it's more complicated than that. And as I said, Man United have got so many bigger priorities this summer. I'd say 2 centre-backs, a central midfielder, and a striker are probably all above the need for a new right winger. Scott, you're saying De Ligt's on 260 a week? Well, that pretty much deads that then, if that's true. Let me see if there's any other super chats that I've missed. Andy's saying we need variety, a different option. Are you talking about strikers? It's kind of saying that Zirkzee is similar to Højlund. I do think they have similar characteristics, but I do think they can operate differently. And I actually think they could probably complement each other very well. If you look at the tactic that we used against City, by the way, where we kind of had 2 false nines, imagine that, but it's Højlund and Zirkzee as the top 2 of that. So not playing as out-and-out strikers, like waiting for the balls over the top, but kind of dropping deep into a tighter shape and then bursting forward in the transition. You could really see Højlund and Zirkzee working really well together. What are you saying down there? Joe, you're in favour of Zirkzee. It's a nice price. It's a nice price. Ellen, I'm not doing any watch-alongs in the Euros. I apologise about that. Actually, I don't apologise. Sod that. I don't like them. I'd rather just watch it. Yeah, Peter, I have seen the article from Laurie Whitwell, and I've got it up here. Where have I got it? I've lost it. There it is. I've got it up here. But that's huge. It's like a book. I need a lot to consume. A lot of time to consume. A lot of time. I just need some time to consume it. So the Olise situation, honestly, I think he'll join Chelsea. I think Manchester United, just because of the delays around Erik ten Hag, it kind of bottlenecked our activity. And the day when the window opens, boom, agree personal terms with Branthwaite. We're pursuing Zirkzee. We're pursuing Yoro. We're looking at options and we're active. However, Olise, there's been lots of interest from United, but we need to do these first. I think that's the way I look at Man United want Olise, but that's the sort. There are 3 priority signings this summer: centre back, central midfielder, and striker. And those are the 3 that can happen without sales needing to happen. A right winger isn't. And for a right winger signing to happen, and I think United want to do it this summer, and I think United really do want Michael Olise. But for that to happen, we have to start shifting players. And Mason Greenwood high on that list. If we go here to the whiteboard and the leaving, I've got Greenwood to Juventus, 30 mil plus bonuses. You've got reports from the Mail there suggesting that it's actually going to be more, £40 million. Maybe that's overall. Not quite sure. But as it stands, by the way, and I'll go over here to the active whiteboard now, which I've upgraded. Look at that. This feels very easy to... Can you let me know in the comments? Is it easy to understand everything that's written on these whiteboards? Because I've got the little key down at the bottom. There's 5 stages I'm putting it down as for transfers. I've got Branthwaite down as the 3rd stage because we've agreed personal terms. Yoro and Zirkzee, as it stands, it's just interest on both of them. And Olise, we've already had the talks previously, and it's not really gone too far forward. And you can see, by the way, that midfielders are empty. As it stands, Man United haven't really... We've been linked with players. Onana, Fofana. As it stands, there's no real active movement on any sort of midfield signing for Manchester United. And I'm sure it will... I'm sure that will change. Yeah, went for the traffic light system, Rob. Come on. Let's bring Olise back on this one. One sec. Oh. Come on. Love this, man. I'm not sticking De Jong in there. I might just throw Schneider in at the bottom. But yeah, Juve, definitely the heaviest interest in Greenwood thus far. No bids have been put in, but the interest is clearly there, right? The interest is clearly there. I don't believe I've missed any super chats down there. No, I read it. I read that out. I said De Ligt is. You said De Ligt's on 260 a week. Yeah, if he's on 260 a week, that pretty much deads the move because United are not going to be offering him that. And another name on the potentially out list, right, is Wan-Bissaka. Jake, you're saying 4K quite... Mate, do you have any idea what you would need to stream in 4K? That is pointless. Pointless sorts of demands. You're saying it's 720. I'm pretty sure it should be 1080. When I look back, it's 1080. Ain't no way you're ever going to get 2K or 4K on a stream like this. Boy. Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka down there on the list of names that could be leaving, right? And I don't know. Last season, was it halfway through it? Maybe a little bit earlier than that. Was it the season before? I said, look, if Man United are going to keep one centre-back, one right-back, I think I would keep Wan-Bissaka. And that switched completely. Quite a few of you are saying it's only coming out in 720. If it is only coming out in 720, I need to fix that because it should be coming out. Oh, is that down there? I think the bit rate's dropped. That was much higher before. Right. Apologies about that, ladies and gents. This should be in 1080, but the bit rate's dropped quite a lot. Yeah, my bad, ladies and gents. I'll fix that for tomorrow. That might be why. Right, okay. Okay, right. Should be able to fix that, though. Wan-Bissaka, I think I'd sell him. Right? I would sell him. If the right offer came in, I would sell Wan-Bissaka. But then we'd need a right back. What would you do if you sold Wan-Bissaka? You got Diogo Dalot who could play there. Cambuela could play maybe an auxiliary right back, but that's not really the right. It's not really the right. You need 2 players in each option. Scott, can you stop saying I miss your super chat? I've already talked about De Ligt and 260 grand a week wages 3 times now. You're not listening, my man. I've mentioned it 3 times. I'll go back up here. I'll read that. No, I've mentioned that 3 times now. Listen up, buddy. So I do read the comments. Yeah, so I will try and get the stream back up to 1080. It should be 1080. I can see the bit rate's dropped. No idea why that is. Right, where are we? Whoa, I'm hot as hell. It is warm up in here. It is warm up in here. But we've just had conversations there this morning around, right, about Jarrad Branthwaite, and we had a little debate. We spoke about Leny Yoro, had a little debate. Had a little conversation around Joshua Zirkzee as well, and Olise, and De Ligt. Whew. Piss off your trolls in the comments. I can't get AC in here. I've got a fan. I just forgot to bring it in. It's just warm AF in here today. Now, can I just say, before we wrap up today's show, day, Sam finds his way, marking all the places where the viewers stay, watching. What a jam this is. United People's TV. From far and wide, Sam's got the world right by his side. This is a banger. In Tokyo, they're tuning in, feel the rhythm, the beat. I need to make a mix and put this in it. Berlin, London, and LA. Everyone's dancing. Come on. Come what may. Right, anyway. I love that. That's fun. Let me know where you're watching from, ladies and gents. The town and the country, and I'll get a few of you added into the map. Mate, the AI generators for songs are ridiculous. That shouldn't get... Do you get copyright strikes for AI ones? I mean, if you do, that's ridiculous. Pause, please never play that again. All right, mate. I'm not going to play it again. Right. Let me see who's down here. We've got... Jonathan, you're watching from Frederiksund in Denmark. Did I get that right? Frederick... What is it? Fredericks? Is that 2 S's? Can't see my... No. God. Frederick. There we go. That's not an easy thing to spell. Who's on Facebook? Let's have a quick look. We've got Makenya watching from Narok in Kenya. There you go. Narok? Narok in Kenya. On you go, sir. Welcome to the map. And let's get one more here. Watching from YouTube. We've got Beast Cook watching from Selangor in Malaysia. I bet it's hotter there. It's definitely hotter there than it is here. Selangor in Malaysia. Awesome. Right. I'm going to wrap that one up. That was the show of shows. I told you after the video that I did yesterday that it felt like Manchester United, we're going to be kicking forward into the summer. And today we've had a big show there about Branthwaite. Personal terms agreed. As a community, you all feel that somewhere in the region of 40 to 50, you said, for Branthwaite. And I agree with you. I just don't think that'll be enough for Everton. So if that's the case, I don't think we sign Branthwaite. Spoke about Yoro, probably going Madrid. Spoke about Zirkzee. I think that'll be a very good signing. And De Ligt. I think the price is going to be too much. Well, wages are going to be too much. Yeah, if there's transfers over the weekend, I will be here. Today's video is going to be a full story on Jarrad Branthwaite. Going to bring you some more stats, some more details, some more info on that. Tomorrow there's going to be a lovely little mini documentary on Scholes and Mainu, which I think you'll like. And yeah, I'll get this working back up at 1080. It should be 1080. I don't know why I can see that's dropped. Anyway, I'll fix that. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Look, that Whitwell article is monstrous. I need to read all of that before I do a video on it. Take it easy, everyone.